Hi, I'm Paige, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Brisk Teaching, an AI-powered Chrome extension designed for educators that saves you time so that you can do more of what matters most. How does Brisk save you time? By working with and for you in all the places you're already working, integrating seamlessly into your workflow, whether that's in Google Docs, Google Slides, PDFs, your digital textbooks and curriculum, YouTube, websites, any place that you would naturally be working, Brisk is going to hang out, as you can see here, and allow you to leverage AI from right within those places. What you'll notice is when you click on the Brisk extension, there are 6 different pathways that you can go down as an educator, whether that's create, so imagine creating resources, assessments, activities, giving feedback on student work, inspecting student writing, changing the reading level of materials, or setting up student interactions. Let's dive into a few specific examples of how Brisk is going to save you time. I'm going to start by opening a piece of student work. So this is an essay here, and I'm going to go down this give feedback flow. This is going to allow me to generate 4 different styles of feedback directly on my students' work. I'm going to choose targeted, and you'll notice that I can access academic standards, including those for Utah here. And I can also upload a custom rubric for Brisk to tailor the feedback around, which is what I'm going to add here. So I'm going to choose my rubric, and once it uploads, you'll notice it right here in the prompt box. And then I've also added some specific instructions. Keep feedback short and concise, use 1 sentence per comment. I've also left this at 10th grade, and then I'm going to Brisk it. Brisk is then going to draft inline Google Doc comments for me here that are aligned with that rubric and any other specific information that I've input. You'll notice that these comments are posting as Google Doc comments. However, these are still left open for me as the teacher to come in, make any edits or modifications before students see them on their end. I can also delete any that I don't agree with. Once I'm ready and I've checked these out, I can click on this comment button, and that's when it's going to show up for students on their end. Now, as a former English educator myself, I would always be thinking of, as I'm giving this individual feedback, what does this mean at the class level? Well, great question, and Brisk is going to help you answer that. If you come to your main menu, you can check out this bar chart icon to get feedback insights. These are going to highlight for you the areas where your students have been excelling and the areas where they could continue to grow based on this feedback that you're generating. You'll notice for each one, it's going to tell you what that is, but also give you a little description that helps you better understand. It will also allow you to very quickly generate a lesson plan, quiz, or resource to continue to work on these items with your students. Now, this is from a teacher's perspective, but I have something that I'm super stoked to share with you, which is Brisk also supports students during the writing process. So as a student within teacher set parameters, I'm also going to be able to access this student feedback extension. You'll notice it's a different color here. And when I open my extension, I can input the prompt for my assignment that my teacher has given me, or upload the rubric. But as a teacher, I'm going to swap classes here and show you that you can also pre-upload a rubric. So in this case, as a student, all I would need to do is click on this Give Me Feedback button. And in just a few seconds, I'm going to have personalized in-time feedback right here in my work that is aligned with that rubric that my teacher has pre-uploaded. Now, a little different from that teacher feedback, here the student is pushed into an interactive activity around the feedback that is being generated. So for each comment here, you'll notice there's an agree and a disagree button. As a student, I don't just at surface level choose agree or disagree, but I also have to engage further and really justify my choice here. So why did I agree? What did I do to show that I agreed here? If I disagreed similarly, why did I disagree? As a teacher, full visibility, you can see all of this feedback that was generated for your students and how they interacted. Now, after a student has submitted their work, Brisk is also going to support you there. We know that there are so many AI tools out there that students might be using, and we want to make sure that we're supporting you as teachers and having the visibility needed to have conversations with your students about that writing process, which is why we've created this inspect writing flow, which allows you to open a piece of student work like this one here. And when you click on Inspect Writing, this is going to allow you to see a literal replay of exactly how and when students constructed their work. You'll also be able to see on this progress bar moments of large copy paste and moments of feedback. We all want to know if our students are actually interacting and making changes after we left feedback. This is a great way to do that. At the end of the recording, you will also see this global information, including the total number of large copy pastes and this editing time, which is based on active keystrokes, not just how long the student had this open on their computer. With this, what we've heard is it's really easy to have these really fruitful conversations with students about that writing process. You can take a whole host of information into that conversation to reference and really lead to a stronger moment of learning. Now, in addition to supporting within the writing process, Brisk is also going to support you in creating resources, assessments, instructional materials, and I'm excited to show you a few ways that it's going to do that as well. As I mentioned before, Brisk is going to work within YouTube for you. So this is a video from Crash Course that I found here on food chains. And when I open my Brisk menu, this time instead of going down the give feedback or the inspect writing flow, I'm going to come to the create menu. And you'll notice that there are several items that I can generate, from quizzes to lesson plans, depth of knowledge questions. In this case, I'm going to choose a slide deck here. I want to create a presentation to really bring this to life with my students. Let's say I want this for my fifth graders. I'm going to do 5 slides with images, and then I'm going to choose a template here. And what Brisk is going to do is then open a new tab for me and generate this slide deck based on the YouTube video right into Google Slides. You'll notice it's pulling out a title slide for me and then these content slides with images, just like I asked for, using grade level appropriate language here as well. And then once Brisk is finished, I can add on additional items, but I can also use this Boost It button to create a really personalized learning experience for my students. So I'm going to click here. And this is going to allow me to choose from an engaging activity like a tutor session to an inquiry activity, applying real world math, maybe a brainstorm, to assessing learning through a pulse check or an exit ticket, maybe to support writing or reflection. In this case, let's say I actually want to engage my students through a quick hook that I can use at the beginning of my lesson. You'll notice again that there are standards I could select here. Once I've made these choices, I'm going to click on next, and then I'm going to Brisk it, and it's going to bring me to the Boost activity space here. It's going to create a customized activity based around that resource that I've chosen. And before I share it with students, I can come to preview and edit here. And you'll notice a few things. The students are going to see the title, which is completely editable. They'll also see the resource here on the left, and this is a really unique experience. So students can interact here just as they would if they had access to this resource as a standalone. They'll also be able to see the learning objectives, and you can come in and edit these. So if you see these that Brisk has drafted and you want to make changes, you can click on that pencil icon, make any modifications. You can also modify the role that you want Boost to have here. And of course, if you don't want students to see the resource, you can also remove it. But in either case, the entire activity is going to be tailored around that resource. Now, let's check out what this would look like. So as a student, I'll see that Boost is going to get this conversation going here. And I might say, I know food chains are the systems of animals and their food. You'll see that there's text to speech and speech to text options here as well. And as I start interacting, I'm going to be able to track my progress per each of these learning objectives. As a teacher, once you share this out, you will also be able to track students' progress through your activity dashboard. This is really great for being able to see where students are excelling, where they might need some extra support. You'll see for every learning objective, it's going to move from gray to yellow to green, showing how the student is working towards achieving that objective. You also have full visibility, so you can see into each student's chat as well if needed. And then one more thing I want to highlight about Brisk is the ability to change the level of resources and materials. So we've walked through a little bit of how Brisk can support during this writing and revision process through creating instructional materials and resources, setting up student interaction. But I also want to demonstrate how Brisk can differentiate, especially when you might have students at different levels of literacy. And so here we have a website with a text. This is an article on bringing back California's redwood forests. And on my Brisk menu, I'm going to click on this change level button, which is going to surface for me the reading level of the text. And then I can level that up or down here and also choose from over 40 different languages. So really great for supporting any English learners that you might have in your classes. Once you've made those choices, you can click on change reading level here. Brisk is going to open a new Google Doc for you, where it's going to level that text. It's going to bring over a title, an image, the source. And as it's generating, I want to also highlight that this doesn't only work on websites. This will also work on any text that you have in a PDF, in a digital textbook, in a Google Doc as well. So really working in almost any place that you might have material you want to use with your students. For our sake, I'm going to stop generating here and just highlight this menu that pops up. This is a great place to further customize what you've just generated and then also add on additional items. So in this case, maybe I'll want to add on a quiz to go with this text that I've just leveled. You'll notice again, you have access to those standards. You can also choose your question type here, how many questions you would like, and then generate this quiz right here in the Google Doc or straight into a Google form. Both formats will have the answer key for you, really more of a matter of where you're actually going to use this with your students. And you'll see here in just a few seconds, I've got a new Google form quiz. The answer key, again, is pre-embedded for me. It's set up like a quiz, and I could quickly add on some additional question types here as well. I know our time together is short, and I hope this has been a really good introduction to Brisk. I want to highlight as well, if you're eager to dive in more, that on our website, we have 2 community courses. If you come to this resource tab, you can come to community, where you will find our certification courses, level 1 and level 2. Great place to get started, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Team Brisk.